Hello and welcome to the new video. Today we're gonna take a look at Thunder Punch variant of the Scrafty in the Open Ultra League. This Pokemon is now going to have some better coverage, especially against water type Pokemon, which is going to be quite interesting. And I went 9-1 with this team, and the only loss that I had, I might actually would have been able to win if my internet didn't die. So we're gonna take a look at all the battles here again today, so you can see everything about Scrafty, where it's going to be better, where it's going to be worse. We're going to have here in the lead the Skeletor, one of the best Pokemon to answer Scrafty's weaknesses, as we're going to have Fairy type coverage against those Fighting type Pokemon. We are Ghost type, which can resist counter. We are going to be also Fire type, which is going to be able to beat those Fairy type Pokemon. So basically the perfect pairing, unless you're going to encounter a Tapu Fini, which you can currently because those legendary Pokemon are all banned. So, say swap, Shadow Feraligatr, quite simple. Like, I use Feraligatr so often in teams recently. It's just like such a neutral Pokemon that is just basically impossible to completely hardwall, which you can see as well with the Galvantula. But first battle here already, we're going to see the beauty of having Thunder Punch now, because people still expect us to run something like a Power Punch here. The opponent might not actually know that we're going to have a Thunder Punch on our Scrafty here with their Feraligatr. This is going to be a super effective damage. Do they know? They do not, and so we can get way more damage on the opponent than I expected. If they use the shield here, I'm fairly certain they definitely had a good chance of winning this game still, but like this, we can counter them down and win with 2 shields on the opponent's part. Next opponent, we're going to have a Skeletor against us in the lead, which is not going to be an ideal matchup at all, but it's still something that we can deal with. So, we're going to be able to go for one Shadow Ball against the opponent, and they let the move go through, and so we can align ourselves, and the opponent has no chance of doing anything here. They go for the Shadow Ball, I decide to use a shield, and in comes a Poliwrath. This Pokemon is most likely one of the most awkward one to play for this team, but it's actually still okay. Basically, if you have energy on your lead, you're going to be able to do some super effective damage against them. If the opponent has energy, you can actually take it quite well with the Feraligatr because you're a water type and they only have moves that are going to be resisted against you. If you have energy on your Scrafty, you have Thunder Punch now, which is going to be super effective. So, like, it's not the worst matchup ever. I think I'm forced to go for a charge move here. I'm not too sure if I would have been able to go for the full farm down, but as you're gonna see here as well, Poliwrath is gonna go down, and in the back it's going to be that Greninja, and Greninja is not going to appreciate our Scrafty. Here, Power Punch would have been a little bit better for us, not gonna lie, but you decide to use a shield on the first one already. We see the opponent goes into their own Skeletor. I can go into my Skeletor just to take the damage, and we will see as well that they're gonna go for one Hydro Cannon here. Night Slash would not be enough. And as they don't allow me to go for a Disarming Voice, I know that my play is just to farm them down with counter Scrafty. We have to hope that they don't get to 2 Hydro Cannons, which they don't, and so we can win this game. Next opponent, we're going to have here the Ampharos in the lead. This is one of the most awkward ones that you can encounter here, because they have coverage for your lead as well as your Say Swap, and that is quite unique with the Ampharos. So how do you play this one out? You kind of want to stay in, and here you can decide, do you go for the Shadow Ball, do you go for the Disarming Voice? They usually always shield, so going for the Disarming Voice is also a play, but I just going to sacrifice my lead here and just go into my Scrafty, because if I have some energy later on my Feraligatr, I'm going to be fine. If I can hit this Foul Play, I'm going to be fine. There are going to be quite some nice options. As we can see here, we can knock them out, and we're going to see as well that they're going to go into their Greninja now against us. As long as they don't boost here, this game is kind of over, because I would be able to win this matchup. But they boost, and so this game is going to be a little bit more trickier, but I feel like there's still a good chance of us winning. We can get one Hydro Cannon on them, and we can get another one on them as well. And so they're going to be forced to use a shield now. I have still 2 shields left, and I was like, I'm just gonna win this with my Scrafty. Like, Scrafty is going to be able to just go for the full farm down here, and they might get to 1 charge move. They don't even do that, and so we can easily win this game here now. The opponent has, of course, the Disarming Voice, which would one-shot us, but we have still 2 shields left, and we're going to have the super effective Foul Play, and we have some lag here as well, which is of course kind of great. But yeah, this game is over. Disarming Voice, I don't really care too much about that. I can go for the Foul Play, and this is going to be it for this one. Good game, a trainer, and we can move on to the next opponent. Another mirror of Skeletor is coming up here now, because the opponent is going to have, also the Skeletor here, and both of them also 2500 CP. Usually I win CMP tie with my Skeletor. As you can see on the right side, my AV spread is quite attack weighted, which is kind of nice. But I decided to swap out here into my own Feraligatr. Yeah, it is an awkward play. Maybe I should have not done this, but we're gonna get out the opponent's Poliwrath, which is quite okay for me, especially as I can go for those Hydro Cannons quite early. This was not a CMP tie, but this one is going to be a CMP tie as it looks like, and we can at least get some nice damage onto them. And I think if I can survive this and get to another charge move, I'm forcing a shield from the opponent as well, which might be kind of beneficial for the future, but I don't even get to the move. And so I have to play a little bit around here. I need some energy on my Pokemon, and so I decided to go ahead and go into my Scrafty so I don't have to use a shield here. I know Scald is still going to do around like 50% of my health, but it's still better for us like this, as they're gonna get the attack drop as well, which is quite awkward. But they're gonna go into their Trevenant, a matchup that would be actually kind of good for my Scrafty, but as we were debuffed, I kind of want to swap out of here. And also, with the fast move damage that I do against the Trevenant, I am able to put them definitely into range for just one foul play, and this might be really beneficial for us later on. We're gonna get the charge move onto the opponent here, and we can lose the CMP tie. I was very surprised about this, because yeah, usually I can win the CMP tie with this Pokemon. But it was just a disarming voice, and we can still survive this, knock them out, they can farm me down, I still survive one Seed Bomb even though it's buffed now, and so we can go for that foul play, knock them out again, and win this game. What you see so far is kinda something that you don't really see, to be fair. You don't see anything really with the Thunder Punch, and yeah, Thunder Punch is kinda good on Scrafty, I have to say. It's definitely cool. There were some battles where it definitely came in clutch. I still would think that Power Punch is most likely better in general, but what Thunder Punch does, which I kinda like about Scrafty now with the move update, is it just makes it very consistent. Like, there is no, like, yeah, if the opponent shields the Power Punch, you might still have a chance of winning the game. No, like, you either win or you lose, and like, I kinda like the black and whiteness of this Pokemon instead of having a boost that you have to rely on. And like, if the opponent swaps out then into a hard answer or whatever to your Pokemon, the boost is kinda wasted. So I actually do quite like the move update on this Pokemon, and so hopefully maybe this battle we're going to be able to win as well. It's going to be definitely a close one here, as we're going to sacrifice our Feraligatr. Show went for the double Hydro Cannon, by the way. There's also a little bit of a mistake by me going for the Ice Beam. I can still knock them out, and it's going to be in the back the Tentacruel. And as you can see here, the game is lagging. That is on my part. There are some roadworks going around right now in my area, and so I think they just cut a wire or something like this on accident. So yeah, I sadly lost because of this. Maybe I could have still won, most likely not, but as you're gonna see here, I got a 4-1 for the first set, and we can straight up move on into the second set now. So, next opponent, we're going to have another Ampharos in lead. Like, I think it's the third Ampharos now already at this point in 6 battles, which is quite wild. So, half of the leads are literally a core breaker for the team. And still we were able to, I think, come back from everyone. I don't know if the last opponent had an Ampharos, but here the opponent catches a move. It catches the Fairy-type Pokemon move. Fairy-type Pokemon move, exactly. The Fairy-type move on the Dragonite, which is going to be great for us, as we can now go ahead and go for the full farm down. Full farm down it is with our Feraligatr, and this is why the Shadow variant might be a little bit cooler as a Say Swap. Made a video recently, I think as well, where I talked about, for the Great League at least, where I like the Shadow, where I like the normal Feraligatr. I feel like it's kind of similar in the Ultra League as well. Lead, I kind of like the normal one. Safe Swap, I kind of like the Shadow one here, because it's going to be a little bit safer in terms of the Shadow Claw damage that adds up in the 2-shield scenario. But here, we will see the Tentacruel coming in, which is quite fine. As they're going to go into the Ampharos, I can retaliate with my Scrafty, and I can even use a shield here if I want to. And let's see what they have in the back here. They're going to have the Thunder Punch. That's going to be fine for me. I can go for, I want to say the full farm, but they can still reach another Thunder Punch, which is totally okay, as we can go for the full farm on here. The opponent goes for a charge move. No charge move can knock me out here other than Blizzard, and they don't have the energy for that, so Scald is coming through. I don't really care too much. I'm just gonna go for the full farm down. Thunder Punch would have been great, but unnecessary at this point. Oh no, look at this, it's a Gliscor. Core breaking my lead as well as my closer here, but it's still going to be fine, because the opponent, for whatever reason, decided to go into their, Greedent here, which is totally fine. It's kind of awkward that we don't have Power Punch here, because this matchup would have been way better for us, but still, again, foul play just makes it a little bit more black and white. We can just get some extra damage on them, and now with that, we can just go for the full farm down here at this point, so it's not too bad either. Like, honestly, it's not too bad either. We get some nice energy here. They're very likely gonna go into their Gliscor afterwards anyway. So Body Slam is coming through. We will see what they're going to go into now. It is going to be actually the Poliwrath, and now we can see at least where the Thunder Punch is quite nice. We're going to be able to hit one of them, and we're going to not be able to hit another one because they can counter me down. But at least I can go into the Feraligatr just for now. Like, I don't actually want to stay in this matchup for ages because Feraligatr is better against the Gliscor. But I want to get one charge move off and take one charge move. Now I can swap out into my Skeledirge as the opponent swaps out as well at the exact same time. I can go for the Disarming Voice, and this is going to hopefully get some damage onto them. It does not, but I kind of just need some little bit of damage onto the opponent basically. What we'll see is most likely a bait here. At this point we have 2 shields, but yeah, it is going to be a bait. I cannot really risk that the opponent goes for an actual move. And so I can go for the Disarming Voice now. Going to be able to get the final shield from the opponent, and as we have some lag here, I still should be able to reach another Disarming Voice and knock them out, as the Incinerate damage just connected was not visible before, but as you can see, the Disarming Voice going to not knock them out. We can still swap out though, and so now it's Poliwrath against the rest of the world, and we're going to be fine here as the Hydro Cannon is going to take the knockout and win us this game. Moving on, we're going to have here the Gliscor again. Gliscor is kind of coming back here all of a sudden, but it is going to be fine. We can stay in for a little bit. I can go for one charge move. I decided to go for the bait here because it's very likely that they decide to use a shield just in case it's a Shadow Ball. And we are wrong. We are totally wrong with that. And so that's going to be a little bit more of an awkward one because they're forced to use a shield. They have Night Slash, and so they're going to go for the Night Slash spam most likely, as they're going to have a Poliwrath in the back. Horrible matchup for us so far. Like, literally everything went wrong here. At least we're going to be able to still do some decent damage here with the Feraligatr. Even though it's resisted, it's still going to be okay for us. The opponent resists everything from us, we resist everything from the opponent, but they have the counter with the stab bonus compared to our Shadow Claw, which is not as great. But as you can see, it's kinda still a neutral matchup. The opponent decides to go for a charge move now. It is going to be that Icy Wind to knock me out. And I decide to go ahead and go into my Scrafty. Scrafty can get some nice energy here and knock out the opponent, which is really good for us. And let's see what is coming back in. It's very likely going to be the Gliscor. It is, and we can go for the Thunder Punch, but I decided to use a shield here just in case it's going to be the Earthquake. It is the Earthquake, and so we can hopefully knock them out, but it's still going to be a tough one as the opponent still has a shield here, and maybe not a shield anymore after this one, but they definitely still have a Pokemon in the back that we have not seen yet. It is going to be the Greninja, and so we can at least still go ahead, go for a Disarming Voice. Super effective move here. We're forcing them to throw after mostly the 3 fast moves here exactly, and so hopefully we can farm them down in time. It is going to be close. Night Slash coming through. Doesn't get the boost. We can go for the full farm down. And now we have to hope that we can go for the Thunder Punch in time. We cannot. We cannot also counter them down. But can we survive a move here? We can, and we can win this game. Next opponent, Dragalge here in the lead, is quite an awkward one for this team as well. And honestly, I just did not really know what I wanted to do here. I have to be honest about that. But I decided to use a shield on the Awkward Tail, would be super effective, and I just decided to go for the Shadow Ball. Both moves are neutral, even though it's a Dragon type Pokemon, it's also part Poison. They decided to use a shield, and I was hoping that I can just outspeed them here with the Ice Beam. Ice Beam coming through is going to be enough to knock them out. Do they let this move go through? They do, and goodbye to Dragalge. And now we all of a sudden have a great matchup for us. We can align ourselves. We see a Pokemon with Shadow Claw, which is going to be great for the Scrafty in the back. And like literally from having one of the worst possible leads because the opponent gave up so much energy for free there by letting the Dragalge go through, we are now in a great position as we can go into our Scrafty. We can go for the full farm down. I let the move go through because I don't know what it is in the back, and it's kind of safer to have 2 Pokemon at half health with a shield than yeah, basically relying on one Pokemon here and needing the shield for the other one. But here, at this point, it would have been better if I used the shield against the Hydro Cannon. Of course, we never really knew before, but it's still going to be okay here, as you're going to be able to go ahead and go for the Thunder Punch now, which is going to be a cheaper move compared to Foul Play. And so, they decide to use a shield here, totally fine. I can let the move go through if I wanted to, but I don't really want to. And so, I'm gonna try to catch a move now, because I was not sure if I would win the CMP tie. It is going to be the Surf. It is still going to be a close one here. They can swap out down to the Feraligatr, and so we have to hope that we can farm them down. We can, and now one foul play is all it takes to knock them out. What a game this was. Very close, but actually quite a nice win here for us. Final battle for today, Goodra. This opponent really surprised me. I have to say that, spoiler alert, this opponent really surprised me. So, Gudra is going to run very likely the Awkward Tail plus the Power Whip, which is the standard moveset for this Pokemon, so they have coverage for both my lead as well as the Pokemon here in the back of the Feraligatr. So I decided to use a shield, going to be the Power Whip as expected, and so we can still try to go for a Hydro Cannon, trying to force the final shield from the opponent. Let's see if this is going to work. It does not, and so we can still reach another charge move though. And we have to hope that we can still somehow win this battle, and we're gonna get the final shield here, which is kinda nice. So, Awkward Tail, don't really care too much about it on my Scrafty, plus also the Power Whip, I don't really care too much, so I let the move go through. What the hell? I did not expect this at all, but yeah, they had a great coverage move against me with the Draco Media. But they're going to have a Dragonite now. I can go for 2 more Incinerates and go for the Disarming Voice to knock them out. The lag kinda scared me there, like was also on my side. I still remember that one, still have nightmares for that one. But let's take a look here what the opponent going to have in the back. Can we still come back from this one? The opponent has in the back the Feraligatr, like a really bad matchup all around here for us. But at least we can still hit that Shadow Ball, do massive amount of damage, but they could go for the full farm down, but they just don't. And I'm in a great spot now, because now Scrafty just has to reach that Thunder Punch. We need 2 more counters, we can get there in time. They didn't catch the move, and so this is going to be game. And again, this team was quite amazing. We ran 9-1 total, with the 1 loss being, most likely would have lost anyway, but like, yeah, being from me disconnecting from my Wi-Fi for whatever reason. But this is going to be it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.